We're speaking to Gail Corrin, the chair of Isle of Man Golf. Gail, we're going to have a bit of a more general chat about golf in the Isle of Man and the current state of the game here. But first off, there is a competition coming up on Friday, a popular annual competition.
Yes, this is people may or may not know, but in the past, the ladies and men's golf's always been run through two separate associations on the island. But a few years ago, the island was the first county, if you like, in the UK to come together under what's now called Isle of Man Golf. But we've kept the traditions on the men's and the ladies' sides going, as well as sort of coming up with increasingly with new ideas. But on Friday, there's a competition called the K Fox Greensome, which has been running for about 40 years. It's a ladies' event, and it's run as a greensome. In golf, the obvious aim is to get a small white ball into a hole 18 times. But there's lots of different formats that we do that with. And a greensome is where you play with a partner and you take alternate shots. Those of the people who follow on the television, it's the format used sometimes in the Ryder Cup and the Solheim Cup, the major events, and also in the ever popular sixes. So we've got 56 ladies competing on Friday down at the lovely Rowany course. Kay Fox, she was Ireland champion in 1933 and 1959. Which is, if you get those two dates...
26 years between her two victories.
So I think that's a great advert for golf. It's a skill. Yes, there's sort of fitness and the physiology side of it, but actually it's a game of the mind and it's a game of skill. So there's a woman who managed to reach the top of the island level 26 years apart, yes.
We see it with professionals who go very much into later age still playing at a very high level, don't they?
Well, you do, and then they pop up now and again. You know what? Every now and again, a Phil Mickelson will win, or even a Laura Davies will win, and both in Laura's case in her 50s, because yes, golf is it's such an intriguing game, and I've played sport all my life, and I sometimes wish I'd come to golf earlier, but I don't think I'd have had the temperament for it. I'm much more, it's a bit more gung-ho. With golf, you've really got to almost get yourself into a zone to play well. So yes, the skill, and all the things that go with it, but it's a really big mental game. So that does allow you to play well throughout your life, because it isn't just about the physical side. It's the focus and a lot of fun, of course. It isn't all about winning, apparently.
Speaking of winning, though, let's not forget there is a competition on Friday. What's the appeal to this one, then? Because it sounds like it's a long-standing one.
It is a long-standing, and I think the appeal is that, like a lot of sports, sticking with your traditions and your history is important. You're looking for innovative ways to get more people to play your sport. You're looking to keep its appeal fresh to younger generations, but the roots, the traditional roots, are as important. So it's been going for a long time. It carries its own momentum. But the other thing about the structure of the K Fox, back to that format, which is the greensome, is it's a way to play golf with a partner, which often in golf you're playing for yourself. It's an individual sport. Whereas the greensome, you're working as a pair. And I think people enjoy that, hence its popularity, and that's a great turnout for this Friday at Rowany.
Looking at the game in general in the Isle of Man at the moment, how is it faring?
It's interesting. There's a couple of things going on. One is that we've probably got about 2,400 members. So in other words, people who have played up and are members of one of our 8 clubs. And 8 clubs on an island this side is extraordinary. And that's an area for growth. It's been identified by the Department of Enterprise that the island is a golf tourism destination. So Isle of Man Golf is working with Department of Enterprise on that. But one of the sort of the pressures that golf is under is that it's quite a long game to play. So, an average round, depending on how many are out there and how you play yourself, can be anything from 3 to 4 hours. And in general, folks find that quite a big chunk of their Saturday or Sunday or their evening to give up. So, but that's not unique to our sport. I mean, it happened to cricket. The long game became less popular than the short. So clubs are looking at innovative ways, having 9-hole competitions, 6-hole competitions, to try and make it something that people can come and do and then have the rest of the day. I think our numbers... In general, golf membership numbers across the UK are falling and around the world. We've held our own the last couple of years. Some of the clubs are doing fantastic work around juniors. And also we have a golf development officer, Mel Jansen, and she works with clubs to help them do those sorts of engaging activities. And really, I think we're doing okay. We'd always want to do better, but on an island where so many people play so many sports, And in a world where golf memberships in general are struggling, we're just about holding our own.
Are younger people still coming through? Because we did have, seemingly just a handful of years ago, a real crop of young talent.
Yes, they are. I mean, I think like anything, like the way golf, any sport develops is sort of, imagine a pyramid where you've got hundreds of people at the bottom entering and participating, and then eventually some people make it to the highest level. And given that the size of the island means that the base of our pyramid can never be that big, the ones who come through come in fits and starts, and we've certainly had the Anna and your Kaylee Dawsons and Emma before that, but there's some great lads. Tom Harris, we've got Tom Gandy, he would not be called a kid anymore, he's in his 20s, but he's on the European Pro Circuit. So again, I think given our numbers, given our size, we're doing okay, and the clubs are doing a great job running junior events to encourage young people into golf.
Because as you've already alluded to, I mean, 8 courses for an island of this size is an incredible number. So the infrastructure is clearly in place, isn't it?
Yes.
And the options and the variety is there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a bit windy today, but the sun's out there, and how attractive is the island, particularly to visitors, to come and spend a week here and play a different course every day. I mean, gosh, on a 10 by 30 rock, I mean, that's amazing, and all very different courses. And they are a big part of, they take up a lot of land, the golf course. So they do need to be available to the community. They need to work with schools, the clubs. There needs to be engagement because they are a significant part of the locations that they're in on the island. Yeah.
Do you think maybe in the past then there has been a bit too much separation? They haven't been quite as involved as they could be?
I mean, gosh, it's always easy, isn't it, to criticise? But I think golf has had an image in the past, which hasn't necessarily been inclusive. And that's changed enormously. It really has. So it's a great game. It's a great way to be out in the air. I mean, I'm a member up at King Edward Bay and Onken Head there, and it might be a bit tricky in this wind today. But you know what? On a sunny day, when how many times I played there, you get to the top of the 11th and you look around and you think, wow, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But you could say that about every course on the island. So they are an important community resource, and I think clubs now are much more inclusive and welcoming, and people should, if they've got any interest at all in golf, just give it a go, really, truly. I know it sounds a bit of a cliche, but it is the way to get started.
Do you think maybe it's a little bit intimidating for some people to just give it a go, as you said? It's I think with the equipment and, like I said, going into these institutions as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, most clubs have sets of clubs that you can borrow if you're just starting out. Most clubs have a particular person on the committee who's like the kind of the welcomer or the person that would spend time with a new person. But you are right. There's a certain point at which actually swinging a club at quite a high velocity to hit a very small ball, go in the right direction, to get to that point of feeling confident and enjoying doing that does take something. But the pros on the island, and as I say, the clubs on the island have all sorts of ingenious ways to let people succeed and develop that skill slowly. Are
you optimistic for the game here then? Do you think it can be improved, it can be boosted?
Yes. Absolutely. It's a super game. It's got longevity, as we were just saying. With Kay Fox, you can start. You see Tiger Woods movies on Facebook now and again when he's about 3 swinging a golf club, and then you've got people through into their 80s. There'll be people in their 80s playing in that competition on Friday.
So it can keep you going for many years.
Keep you going, and of course, the heart of golf is the handicap system, and that is ingenious. That allows anyone at any level to play. And have a chance of if it's a competition, winning it. But it provides a responsive, level playing field for you, whatever your ability, whatever your age.
And I suppose something tangible as well to see, you've got this level and you can work towards getting it down, can't you?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.